And we're going to compare each one of these on where it lands on 20 foot-pounds. When it comes to working on our personal projects, we can't always rely on the ugga-duggas, especially when you're installing things like flywheel, pressure plates. That's where torque specs comes into play. And today we're actually going to compare 4 different torque wrench options when it comes to torquing down and getting down to the specs. And that's where having things torqued down to spec just makes you sleep better at night, knowing it's not going to come through the floor pan. So what we're looking at is 2 different torque wrench options here, but we're going to compare that between multiple here. So what we're looking at is a Craftsman 3/8 drive click style. We've got a 3/8 drive beam style, and then we're going to compare the accuracy of these compared to this one here, which is a digital torque up to a 1/2 inch. So between this right here and the 3-piece that comes from Seesii, which is a pretty awesome kit here, you've got up to the 220 inch-pounds, and then you bump up to the 160 foot-pounds. So 2 pretty sweet options there, but let's look at the accuracy. So what we're going to do is mark this down to 20 foot-pounds, and then we're going to compare each one of these on where it lands on 20 foot-pounds. So what I like about this, you can actually track it, and this is something that you can use as a backup, a second opinion, or if it's your primary, just for a standard ratchet. So we've got it set to 20 on the foot-pounds, but you can change between the Newton meters, inch pounds, and so forth. So let's get this loaded up. So we're still locked and loaded at 20 foot-pounds, and we're going to set this over into the vise and clamp it down on the 1/2 inch output. Then we'll use the 1/2 inch input to be able to determine, is it accurate? So we'll start off with a beam style, and this will just indicate at 20 foot-pounds based off of the indicator mark. So just looking at the beam, we're at 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. That looks pretty accurate for a beam style. So now we'll put the 3/8 beam back, and we'll count that as a win digital to the beam style. And now we'll jump over to Seesii's 3/8 drive, set that to 20 foot-pounds. And I do like the lock on the Seesii torque wrenches here. So once you get in a position, it just clicks into place. That way it's not going to move around. So we're setting at 20 foot-pounds. And on this one, we have a 3/8 to 1/2 inch drive adapter to fit the 1/2 inch drive digital. So as far as the torque wrench, we'll have a click style at the 20 foot-pounds, but then on the digital here, we'll have a few beeps leading up to the 20 foot-pounds with a hard beep. So let's get this locked in. Spot on. Let's do it again. 2 times on point, and 3. That's some consistency right there between both. Let's change torque wrench. So we'll put the 3/8 Seesii back in, and we've got it zeroed back out. But oh, that's a pretty comfortable feel torque wrench set right there. So now we'll jump over to the click style 3/8 Craftsman. And we've also got this one set at 20 foot-pounds with the 3/8 adapter. So this one will also be listening for the click and the beep. Round 1. 20. Second. Spot on. A 0.5 over. We're about 22, look like I saw. Let's do that again. So 21.8. So it's within tolerance still. So that's 3 for 3 on that digital. Hey, so now we're up for Seesii's 1/2 inch torque wrench. This thing is lightweight and feels pretty comfortable. So we've also got this one set at 20. And you can see these numbers are quite a bit easier to read too. So we now do not have an adapter on this one. It's directly 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch. We've got it seated, set at 20 foot-pounds. Let's rock with it. Bam, 20.7. Round 2. 20.33, I believe is what I saw. Round 3. 20.45, also within tolerance. So pretty neat little demo there. And the biggest thing is the peace of mind. So between 5 different torque wrenches, they all come out within reason around that 20 foot-pounds. So pretty awesome setup here. And so what we're looking at is a 3/8 drive on the beam style and the click style on Craftsman. I've had these things for years upon years. But when I start comparing the price of a 3-piece with the 1/4 inch, 3/8, and the 1/2 inch drive, these are pretty comfortable. They got the locking, piece on the back side here, so once you know that as you've set it, it's going to stay there. And so if you want to find more on a decent torque wrench when it comes to torquing items down around the shop, check the link down below, guys. Pretty sweet setup here, especially at the price point.